attended the Terry Fox Center in Ottawa. Sean Allen Livingston, son of Oren and Marie Livingston, St. Eleanor's. Kent Edwin MacArthur, son of Edwin and Bethany MacArthur, Wilmot. Rhonda Marie MacArthur, daughter of John and Ruth Gillis, St. Eleanor's. Grant Herman McCausland, son of Keith and Paulette McCausland, Summerside. Pamela Faye McCollum, daughter of Lloyd and Millie McCollum, Wilmot. Pamela was the MVP in curling. Jean Anne Marie McCormick, daughter of Wayne B. McCormick and Beatrice Gillis, Summerside. Darrell Doug McDonald, son of Fred and Sandra McDonald, Wilmot. Jacqueline Michelle McDonald, daughter of Wendy McDonald, New Annan. Kendra Marie McDonald, daughter of Earl and Joan McDonald, Augustine Cove. Kendra attended the Terry Fox Center in Ottawa. Richard Michael McDonald, son of Thad and Louise McDonald, Summerside. Richard was a class video producer. Darrell McIntyre, son of Mr. and Mrs. Joseph McIntyre, Miss Cush. Robert Barry McIsaac, son of Barry and Pat McIsaac, Summerside. Jonathan Lee McKinnon, son of Ewan and Florence McKinnon, St. Eleanor's. Jane Rachel McLaurin, daughter of James and Grace McLaurin, Belmont Lot 16. April Lorraine McLean, daughter of Shelton and Vivian McLean, St. Eleanor's. John Marshall McClellan, son of Angus and Bernice McClellan, Grand River. Sonia Mary Pearl McClellan, daughter of Bill and Lorena McClellan, St. Eleanor's. Tracy Dawn Ann McClellan, daughter of Loman and Vicki McClellan, St. Eleanor's. Elsie Carrie Ann McLeod, daughter of Alistair and Fern McLeod, Albany. Amber Joy McMillan, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Harold Drummond, Freetown. Eleanor Pauline McNeil, daughter of Al and Gladys McNeil, Lot 16. Leah Marie Danielle Mark, daughter of Larry and Kay Mark, St. Eleanor's. Catherine Ann Marsh, daughter of Glenn and Colleen Marsh, Summerside. Kathy Marie Martin, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Frank Martin, Wilmot. Corey Robin Matthews, son of Russell and Isabel Matthews, Lower Freetown. Crystal Dawn McNeil, daughter of Donnie and Gail McNeil, Richmond. Michelle Donald Melanson, son of Mel and Fedora Melanson, Summerside. Scott John Mercer, son of Mr. and Mrs. Phil Mercer, St. Eleanor's. Corey Lee Mills, son of Allison Mills and the late Betty Mills, Summerside. Sean Raymond James Monahan, son of Raymond and Coralie Monahan, Wilmot. Stephen Andrew Wade Monkley, son of Errol and Evelyn Monkley, Wilmot. Joanne Ellen Moore, daughter of Mrs. Mary Moore and Denzel Moore, Summerside. Suzanne Marie Mosier, daughter of John and Margaret Mosier, Summerside. Suzanne attended the Terry Fox Center in Ottawa. Sean Harold William Mugford, son of Ms. Anne Mugford, Wilmot. Kelly Elizabeth Murchison, daughter of Howard and Judy Murchison, St. Elners. Kelly received the prize for clothing 801, received a certificate for outstanding extracurricular involvement, attended the Terry Fox Center in Ottawa, and is president of the graduating class. Kirk Dennis Murphy, son of Royden and Florence Murphy, Central Bedeck. Mona Ruth Murphy, daughter of Matthew and Ruth Murphy, Stanley Bridge. Robert Paul Murray, son of Ben and Ann Murray, St. Elners. Robert received a certificate for outstanding extracurricular involvement. That should be Paul. Darrell Gordon Myers, son of Gordon and Carol Myers, Carlton. Sherry Lynn Louise Neal, daughter of Douglas and Mary Neal, Summerside. Rebecca Lynn Nichols, daughter of James and Ann Nichols, Lower Bedeck. Rebecca received the prize for highest standing in office procedures 641. Debbie Lorraine O'Brien, daughter of Russell and Jacqueline O'Brien, St. Elners. Sean Daniel O'Kane, daughter of Joseph and Marilyn O'Kane, Summerside. Thomas J. Offer, son of Tom and Rita Offer, Sherbrooke. Holly Nadine Osborne, daughter of Lynn McDonald, St. Elners. Catherine Renee Parsons, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Harold Parsons, Summerside. Kelly Lee Paw, daughter of Clifford and Barbara Paw, St. Hubert. Laurie Ann Pearson, daughter of Edward and Kay Pearson, Shelton, and Laurie Ann received a certificate for outstanding extracurricular involvement. Echo Lynn Perry, daughter of Roy and Elaine Perry, Summerside. Echo received the prize for highest standing in English 621 and Systematic Geography 821. Mary Nicole Perry, daughter of Robert and Gwelda Perry, Summerside. Susan Lynn Perry, daughter of Charles and Sheila Perry, Summerside. Michelle Leah Peters, daughter of Alan and Nora Peters, Linkletter. Michelle received a pin for outstanding extracurricular involvement. She was the most dedicated player on the A basketball team, and she was secretary of the student council. Michael George Phillips, son of Nora Phillips, Summerside. Michael received the prize for the highest standing in mathematics, 631. Sean Keith Phillips, son of Keith and Joyce Phillips, St. Nicholas. Tammy Lee Phillips, daughter of Alan and Eleanor Phillips, Summerside. Kevin Wayne Poirier, son of Wayne and Barb Poirier, Miscush. John Russell Powers, son of Lawrence G. Powers and Sheila F. Shea Wilmot. Laurie Ann Pratt, daughter of Errol and Betty Pratt, St. Elmers. Stephen Carl Ramsey, son of Ivan and Gail Ramsey, Southwest Lot 16. Robert Bruce Rankin, son of John and Bertha Rankin, Wilmot. Jason Everett Reeves, son of Donnie and Ida Reeves, Summerside. Dean Thomas Reichels, son of Gerald and Linda Reichels, Wellington. Lisa Mary Richard, daughter of Oscar and Tina Richard, St. Elmers. Therese Marie Richard, daughter of Mrs. Herman Richard, St. Nicholas. Vic Dennis Lee Richards, son of Donna Richards, Summerside. Robert Stewart Riddler, son of Mr. and Mrs. Stewart Riddler, Summerside. Louis Neil Riley, son of Mr. and Mrs. Louis Riley, St. Elmers. Grace Whitney Santos, daughter of John Santos and Bonnie Merton, Summerside. Judith Ann Skurman, daughter of Michael and Patricia Skurman, Summerside. Judith is Miss Teen Three Oaks, and she was runner-up to Miss Teen Prince Edward Island. Kimberly Crystal Seymour, daughter of Len and Audrey Seymour, Summerside. Cindy Elizabeth Ann Simmons, daughter of Norman and Jesse Simmons, Summerside. Alton Todd Singer, son of Birchall and Colleen Singer, St. Elmers. George Major Scarry, son of Eric and Marjorie Scarry, Summerside. Deborah Ann Slavoda, daughter of Donald and Linda Slavoda, Wilmot Valley. Charlene Ellen Small, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Bruce Small, Miss Cush. Mason Boyd Smallman, son of Boyd and Vivian Smallman, Wilmot. Kevin Wade Smith, son of George and Edith Smith, Summerside. Cheryl Lynn Stewart, daughter of Ronald and Betty Stewart, St. Elmers. Terry Chisholm Stewart, son of Jim and Nancy Stewart, Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Lisa Vivian Storty, daughter of Vernon and Paula Storty, Travelers Rest. Darren Lloyd Strongman, son of Blair and Betty Strongman, St. Elmers. Philip Gregory Sullivan, son of Michael and Jean Sullivan, Sherbrooke. Philip received a pin for outstanding extracurricular involvement. Lee Joseph Thibodeau, son of Richard and Joan Thibodeau, Miss Cush. Lee received a pin for outstanding extracurricular involvement. He was the MVP in volleyball, he was the MVP in boys badminton, and he was the male athlete of the year. Dylan Ralph Thompson, son of Ralph and Karen Thompson, Summerside. Dylan received a pin for outstanding extracurricular involvement, and he received an award for most outstanding jazz instrumentalist. Richard John Thompson, son of Mr. and Mrs. Wilfred Thompson, North Bedeck. Malcolm Howard Waite, son of Howard and the late Phyllis Waite, Summerside. Robert William Wall, son of Ellsworth Wall, St. Elmers. Robert received the prize for the highest standing in world geography, 831. Darlene Joyce Walsh, daughter of Alison and Jean Walsh, Albany. She received an award for Best Defensive Player in Field Hockey. Danielle Ann Warner, daughter of Vince and Joan Warner, St. Elmers. Michael Joseph Peter Watson, son of Kenneth Watson and Mavis Stewart, Freetown. Chad Evan Yo, son of Ernest and Carol Yo Wilmot. Mary Paula Yo, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Yo Wilmot. As you could give them a deserved round of applause.
I agree with that. This is our class of graduates for 1989, 238 of them. Now, I should just mention that out in the cafeteria, there's a composite picture of all of these people. And if you go out after the ceremony, you might have a chance, if you can get through the crowd, to take a look at it. It's a good place to take a picture, too. I'd like to also thank at this time Heckber Studio for putting this composite together and for donating it to the school. For the next part of the program now, I'd like to call on Rebecca Johnson, who is their class vice president, who will introduce our guest speaker for this evening.
Good evening. We, the graduating class of '89, are pleased and honored to have with us this evening Doug MacLean as our guest speaker. Mr. MacLean, who has spent most of his life in the Summerside area, is likely well known to many of you gathered here tonight. As a former teacher at Three Oaks, he has coached hockey at the high school and junior A levels. He then went on to coach at the University of New Brunswick and in the National Hockey League. In 1986, he was appointed assistant coach of the St. Louis Blues. He is presently the assistant coach of the Washington Capitals. Doug now resides in Crofton, Maryland with his wife Jill and son Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Doug MacLean.
Thank you very much. That was very nice. Mr. McNeil, teachers, distinguished guests, friends, class of '89. I don't think you understand how much of an honor it is for me to be here this evening to address the graduating students. It may be one of the nicest honors I've ever been given in my life, and I truly appreciate it, so I thank you very much. I guess after Jim sent me the letter and asked me to come here this evening, I got the letter and I said, Jill, I better phone Jim. I think he means the sports banquet. I've never spoke to anything like this, and she said, you know, Doug, I think it'll be really nice that for one night in your life you'll talk about something besides hockey. So anyway, I really appreciate it. It's a real nice honor for a couple of reasons, and I think The one honor is that I'm a Summerside native. And I think graduates, I really like you to leave here this evening and really be proud that you're Islanders and that you're Summerside natives. As I travel all over North America, you wouldn't believe how many Islanders I encounter. It's amazing. Whether it's in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, there's Islanders there, and they all have one thing in common. They're looking for free tickets. This year we're having our training camp in Russia and Sweden, and it wouldn't surprise me that we'll run into some over there. And believe me, I really enjoy seeing them. That's for sure. A friend of mine, Bob Plager, who's the director of player personnel with the St. Louis Blues, said to me one time, "Doug, was there 3 million people in PEI one time and they all left and scattered all over North America?" So anyway, on a serious note, I'm proud to be an Islander, and I hope you will be as well. Another reason why I'm really excited to be here is that I was a former teacher here at Three Oaks for 5 years, and it was a great 5 years, believe me. The support I received from Jim McNeil, vice principals, Clem and Willard, and all the staff, it was a tremendous 5 years of my life, and I look back on it with fond memories. As a matter of fact, when I'm walking off the ice at the Cap Center some nights, I say, God, I wish I was back at Three Oaks. Also, when I coached the Western Capitals, it was tough. Now that I'm in the NHL, you meet the media in New York City or Toronto, and they're tough to deal with, but none of them were as tough as dealing with Frank McCormick and Ken Gunn after the Capitals lost. Believe me. When I got the chance to come here and speak, my boss's daughter, Heidi, she's a freshman at the University of Colorado, and I said, Heidi, I need some help. I've never spoken at a graduation banquet to students. I said, what am I going to talk about? And she said, Doug, don't get too excited about it. I graduated 10 months ago. I don't know who the guest speaker was or what he talked about. I asked Dick Noonan the same question. He said, I don't think they had one last year because they're too boring. Anyway, what I'd like to talk to you about tonight is what I think success is. First, dressed in your traditional gown is a great sign of success. You've got to be very proud of that. It's a tremendous moment in your life, and you deserve all the credit in the world for that. A lot of people believe that it's financial security, social status, material possessions, and they are signs of success. But the one thing and the most significant thing is happiness, and I think you all understand that. I believe that success is when you set goals, you not only reach them, but you surpass them. And this doesn't mean just career goals. That's only a small part of it. It can be family, community, and personal goals. And I think they're every bit as important as your career goals. You must remember that you can't be successful by trying to please everyone. Failure is imminent if you do that. Don't try to please everyone as you go through life. You should have dreams, and you really should chase those dreams. I dream every day. People say, you're a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I wish Emily was up here to sing that for me. Seriously, though, really have dreams and really chase them, because in a lot of cases, they really will come true. Today, you're equal to everybody. Some may have more talent, but you are stronger in all kinds of other areas. Don't stop your own growth by trying to emulate or follow someone. Step out with courage and develop all that you were meant to be. When you join the workforce or you go to university, people are going to say, what have you got besides brains? Attitude and hard work are what brings you success. Live life as a winner. Love your family, your friends, and above all, respect yourselves. At this point, I'm sure you're like my players when I give a pregame talk. They're saying, Coach, enough talk. Sit down and let's let the game begin. Your game is bigger than any that's played at the Cap Center in Washington. Congratulations, class of '89. It's your turn. Thank you very much.
want to come back up? On behalf of all the graduates here of 1989, I'd like to thank you for your inspiring words this evening.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug, and thank you, Kathy. That was Kathy Arsenault, who is our class secretary-treasurer. Okay, this part of the program, we're moving now into the presentation of special awards. And as is in the case each year, some students will win more than one of these. So to minimize the time that they spend coming up and down, we're going to, as we call the name of each student, present to them all the awards and all the prizes and so on that they have earned. So this is going to, in some cases, we'll be calling up special presenters, so the presenters will be coming up and down somewhat, I guess. Okay. May I just say before we start that in the back of your program is listed the names of all of the people who have contributed to our prizes, trophies, and awards this year. And I would like to express my thanks to them because without their generosity, obviously, then our prize structure wouldn't be possible. So in the beginning, to present the first few awards, I would ask our school board chairman, Mr. Lorne Ramsey, to come up. And the first and perhaps the most prestigious award in our whole school we'd like to present now. And that is presented to the student who has the highest academic standing and thereby wins the Governor General's Medal and the Charles H. Llewellyn Trophy. And this year the winner is Kevin Lynch. While Kevin is here, we'll present to him one other award, and that's the Elaine R. Harrison Scholastic Award, which is given for the most outstanding success in English. Thank you, Kevin. The next award is given to the person who has achieved the second highest academic standing in our school. And the winner of that award is Shannon Hardigan. And Shannon, while you're here, we'll present a couple of others. First of all, for the award for High Academic Proficiency and Outstanding Effort Award as selected by our teaching staff, as well as the Elmer Pino Memorial Scholastic Award for the most outstanding success in French and mathematics, and an official language study fellowship funded by the Secretary of State to attend a French-speaking post-secondary institution for 1989-90 school year. Just a second, Shannon. One more. Now, I'd like now to call on Sandy Arsenault to come up to present to Shannon the prize as for the best overall student in our French immersion program. Okay. Thank you very much, and thank you, Shannon. The next award is presented to the student with the third highest academic standing, and that student is Alain Labonte. And Alain, while you're here, we'll present a few more to you. The next one is the Francis J. McNeil Scholastic Award for the most outstanding success in biology, chemistry, and physics. We'll also present to you the prize for first place in the PEI Secondary School Physics Competition, a sixth place, and then a prize for third place in the PEI Mathematics Competition, And finally, the Furno Graves Memorial Prize for Athletic Achievement in Track and Field combined with sportsmanship.